County. There's a Spring Valley Memorial Day ceremony that's coming up on Monday, May 25th. The Nanuet Street Fair is returning on June 7th, and we'll have the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce president on today. Jerry Touchman is going to be talking about the 12th annual Nanuet Street Fair, plus a whole bunch of other news coming up on today's edition of Rockland's News.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here is your host, Tom Osa.
Excuse me. I'm eating lunch while I'm reporting the news. I hope you guys don't mind. I just want to get this thing over with today. It's a very busy day. That was very professional. Anyway, thank you for joining us on AM Rockland's News. Let me just turn off the music and get right into it. I'm your host, Tom Osa. And for those of you that are listening in for the first time, welcome. We've been doing this for approximately 5 years now. We switched over to live stream when WRCR AM 1700 closed, and we became the only live streaming platform for the news in Rockland County, in all of Rockland County. Now, of course, you got News 12 and you got LoHUD and a bunch of other news publications, and they do a great job. But basically, the way that it works is we have the news at rocklandsnews.com. That's the serious news and the anything event related, community related in Rockland County. You could pick up all the news that's fit for you at rocklandsnews.com. We also post a bunch of stuff on our Facebook page, Rockland's News. Again, Facebook. And we eat lunch during the afternoon while we're reporting the news live to you as you're maybe at work or you're doing something, you're driving in the car, whatever have you. We want to keep you informed on what's going on. We also have a variety of interesting guests that hop onto the show and talk about what's going on. Something new for last week, we just started our first video podcast series. Our first inaugural one was with Beth Cefalu as well as John Lyon from Rockland County government. And they're talking about the Global Rhythms Festival, which is going to be happening in Rockland County around the time of the World Cup. So it's going to be a really interesting time for Rockland County. And we're looking forward on learning more about that. And we're going to learn some more about the Nanuet Street Fair today, which coincides with that world event. And we're also going to have news about what's going on inside the county, including a very unexpected visit that's occurring on Friday. We'll get into that in a little while, but just to give you an idea of how things are going right now, Tuesday, it was a little cooler than expected weather-wise. We're at 87 degrees, 70 degrees low, 87 high, mostly sunny, as you can see outside. There's the possibility of thunderstorms tomorrow. 89 degrees right now is what it's being reported to be by very accurate meteorologists. And there's some rain, there's some thunder. I see a bunch of graphics with a whole bunch of things. So there's a lot of mix happening tomorrow. Thursday, it's going to be cloudy and 61 degrees. And then Friday is going to be partially sunny, partially cloudy, 62 degrees. I find that to be appropriate all the way around, given that our surprise visit that's happening on Friday is going to happen. So, whichever way you feel about it, we understand. Our job is to report the news. We will tell you exactly what happened. We will aim to not speculate one way or the other. Well, let's give you a little bit more information about that top story today. President Donald Trump is scheduled to visit Rockland County this Friday, May 22nd, for an official White House event alongside Congressman Mike Lawler. As of the latest update, the exact venue, schedule, and public attendance details had not been released. Reports said that it might be around 3 o'clock, but they didn't say where. Local and federal law enforcement is expected to coordinate security. So you got to expect that the entire county is going to be on high alert when POTUS comes into town, right? And, for either President Trump, President Obama, President Biden, President Bush, all the way back to Reagan. I mean, that's before that I tapped out. But, obviously there's going to be high security. So for your traffic choices on Friday, probably, note where the presidential level event is happening. And if necessary, plan to make detours in order to, if you have to get to a certain place, job or to local stores and everything, provision for those temporary road closures because there's going to be traffic delays, there's going to be parking restrictions, police presence near the presidential event site. And officials say that more information on security procedures and attendance guidelines is expected before Friday. So Rockland's News will be reporting on all of that. And again, we're not going to speculate. We're just going to give you the information that helps you out because we really don't care about views and listens. We're fine. We got 3.6 million last year without a presidential visit. So I think we'll be fine. All right. And hopefully we can inform you, the public, on what is going on. Also, just as a side note, the added attention to this, that visit, that presidential visit, thanks to Joe Salve, he noted to me that in Jewish communities, the visit coincides with the start of Shabbos. And there's specific holidays on many days of the year. So, we don't know whether this is going to be related to, say, for instance, a visit to some of the various populations in Rockland County, for instance, Muncie, New Square, et cetera, et cetera. There are enclaves of people of the Jewish faith. And I'll tell you, the last time I was in Muncie, I had to, driving around was a little tough. I'm just going to say, this is just my opinion on it. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, just like traffic is a little bit speedy over there, it seems. And I don't know what's going on with that, but as long as people are protected, be careful on the roads, drive safe, everybody. That's our initiative this year. I don't care where you're from, drive safe, or you get pulled over and then that's not good. Not good for anyone. So let's avoid accidents. Let's be very, very careful out there. But yeah, the start of Shabbos is obviously on Friday. So, the president's visit and the start of Shabbos is going to be a lot of things happening on Friday. So you want to be, if you're driving around, you want to be really, really careful. And again, our mandate this year is about traffic. That's what we said. Last year was residential housing. This year it's about traffic. All right, let's talk about some other things. Spring Valley Memorial Day ceremony is Village of Spring Valley will hold a Memorial Day ceremony on Monday, May 25th at 1 p.m. at Village Hall, located at 200 North Main Street. Residents, families, veterans, local officials, and community members are invited to gather in honor of the men and women who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. The program is expected to include remarks, as well as a tribute to fallen service members and participation from local honor guards. Village officials say that the ceremony is meant to be a moment of reflection, gratitude, and remembrance for the community. Pardon me, my phone's going off. Thought I had this on silent. The heck? Okay, now it's on silent. Tuesday, we could get a little bit campier. Wednesday, we get really campy in the morning. Me and Mike, my co-host, and we just talk about whatever. Welcome back, Opie and Anthony. Anyway, the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce is preparing for the 12th annual Nanuet Street Fair, scheduled for Sunday, June 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event will bring vendors, food, children's activities, and live entertainment to the community. One moment, please. To the community. Organizers say that the fair regularly draws large crowds and more than 1,700 vendors. This year's attractions include a kids zone, food options, and live performances with music from the Sundogs, After Party, and the Georgia Five. Families can also purchase all-day kids zone ride bracelets. Vendors, sponsors, and community groups are encouraged to register early. And what a coincidence, because right when I was announcing that item on our list of news today, we have with us on the air Jerry Chutchband from the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce, and he's here to talk about the Nanuet Street Fair, the 12th annual one. Hey, Jerry, thanks for joining us on Rockland News today.
I'm glad to be here. I just heard you were talking about the street fair, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
I didn't hear everything you said, so I'll just run down everything that I have.
Yeah.
We start out today with morning mimosas and donuts between 10:30 and 11:30.
Oui.
Where there's no charge for it, and they will last as long as they last. We have live entertainment on our main stage all day long. We have the Car and Jeep Show on Prospect Street by the Nanuet Post Office. And then on the other end, by Banchetto Restaurant and Floor and Decor, we have the kids stage, where we have dance and martial arts school performances. We have a whole bunch of kids rides from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can ride all day with a $20 bracelet. And we have a DJ all day long to keep things moving.
Nice. The DJ does that.
Yep. So we're really looking forward to it. And I keep my eyeball on the weather, and we're just hoping for a nice, warm, sunny day.
Right.
And that'll make it just perfect.
Yep.
But we have other exciting, go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
I said we have other exciting things going on this summer. It's going to be a busy summer. In July, Rockland County Tourism and the town of Clarkstown came to the Nanuet Chamber and asked us to organize and run a Rockland Global Rhythms World Cup soccer block party.
Yeah.
In Nanuet. So we're going to close down the street from Market Street to Orchard Street. We'll have the Clarkstown Showmobile, where we'll have live entertainment. And then at 3 o'clock, we're going to roll out the biggest TV you've ever seen. It's 17 feet long and 11 feet high. We're going to show the final game that is broadcast from down in the Meadowlands. And we'll also have a TV at Peter Greek, which is the Greek restaurant in town. And we'll provide extra tables and chairs, and we'll have the soccer game on that TV as well. So we're looking forward to it. We'll have kids games. We'll have soccer clinics, arts and craft vendors, and all the Nanuet restaurants will be featured in a what's called a Rockland Tourism Passport.
Right.
Where people, the public, will be able to go to a URL and get this passport, and it'll list all the restaurants and special deals that they'll be providing for the day. So I'm already out of breath. I'm in anticipation of both of these events this summer. It's going to be a hot summer, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that Jerry and I speak the same language, because he mentioned you go to a URL. And for those of you that are listening, and I tried to bring my brain back to what the consumer is, but Jerry and I talk the same language because we're in the web world. So URL is like the web address, but that's why we get along so well, because we could talk that techie talk with each other. But I can also relate, Jerry, to when you mentioned about keeping an eye on the weather. And, I've done the 11 music festivals, very small comparatively. You guys have 25,000 people that are there, and it's grown over the years, but it's got to be nerve wracking. Like that last week before the weather, we don't know. We just don't know.
Exactly.
And
the day could start out cloudy, and then the sun comes out, and it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's like bracing for impact sort of thing.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
So now the event has grown over the years, and I always get the opportunity to be there. I guess the last 5 years or so is when I've really kind of locked in. You have the local libraries that are also participating, which is great.
Yeah.
So, and the stages have grown too, because you have the stage that's right by, was it Martino's Pizza place, right?
Martio's Pizza. Yeah.
Martio's, I'm sorry. Yeah. So Martio's Pizza place, you get that stage. And even last year you had an amazing time, but that kids zone at the beginning area. So you got a stage for that. And then you have dance and DJ on that one, right?
Well, we have yes, we have the DJ down on the kids stage, and that's where we have the dance schools and the martial arts schools performing.
Yeah. Is the martial arts thing, is that new? Is that a brand new feature?
No, we've always had it. It's Tiger Showman's, which is in town, and we have a couple of other karate schools that participate, and they come and they do demonstrations, and it's very entertaining because they make a lot of noise, and they're very impressive, especially for the fact that they're just 8 to 10 years old, or 8 to 12 years old. So they do a good job.
Yeah,
it's very entertaining. And then we have we bring in the kids rides, some bounce rides and some mechanical rides, and the parents love that also because they can drop their kid off, get them a $20 ride all day bracelet, and they could just stay on the rides.
Right.
So, and we have a bar set up nearby so that the parents can get comfortable
Lament about
and
their
not have to go
existence
too
for a
far.
while.
Yep, that's the strategy.
Well, that in itself is insightful. So to that I say, all right, you get to the kids zone and
Yep,
there's a bar next by. What
right.
this is a great time to be alive. It just is. Um, so, and anything that you should note for the visitors, and I know that traffic is of course a concern in terms of like where to park and everything. You have any suggestions for the savvy? I'm gonna
Yeah, I
find
would
a cool
say.
parking spot.
Yeah, I would say anybody coming should enter into the Nanuet Town Center, which, AKA the Shops at Nanuet, and what used to be the Nanuet Mall.
Right.
Just enter into that property on any of the Route 59 entrances, and then circle around where as close to Main Street, Middletown Road as you can. And then when you park your car, actually the at-home building is vacant, so there's like tons of parking right there, and you could just park your car there, and then you're there. You're right on Main Street,
Hmm.
right where the street fair is. So
Now,
that would be the best place to park.
as a side note, and this is aside from the street fair, you mentioned about Home, which is that furniture store. I guess
Yeah,
they're no longer going to be there.
at home. Yeah, yeah.
I heard from a few reputable sources that Best Buy will be in
You
that.
heard right.
Okay.
You heard right. They're coming next year. They'll be coming in after New Year's in 2027. But the landlord is already doing renovations to the building.
Hmm.
Best Buy is only taking a certain percentage of the building. It's, if you recall, it's the old Macy's building, so it's a
So I
pretty big
remember it.
building.
Yeah.
So they're going to be probably taking, and I mean, my best guess is probably 75% of the space
Right.
on the lower level, because there's the storage facility on the second level.
Hmm.
And they'll be repositioning the entrance into the store. Um, and we're looking forward to it. It's the Palisades Mall's loss, but it's our gain in that. I'm looking forward to it personally because it'd be nice to have them right around the corner.
I
Um,
always think about when those commercials where the man and the woman, they walk in the doors to Best Buy, and the guy gets this look on his face like he is a kid in a candy store.
right.
Willy
Yep.
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Golden
Right.
Ticket, and
Yep.
he just runs off like a kid. That's
Yeah.
kind of the feeling I still get when I go into Best Buy every once in a while.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know.
So we're looking forward to that.
And
So.
then global rhythms, I mean, this is a thing that's happening. I mean, it's ramped up very quickly. I'm certain that the not-for-profit organizations in Rockland, they were, seems by all reports, they were blindsided to a degree, because we've heard this from multiple news sources that uh, there was an unexpected shift in the budgeting outlays
Hmm.
to
Oh,
various,
I see what you're saying.
yeah, to
Right.
various
Okay.
entities. But it
So you're
seemed
talking
like,
about Rockland County tourism. Yeah. Okay.
just generally, but it seemed like
Hmm.
from what our follow-up interviews, it seems like from what I understand, from New York State level funding, like, pushing that into Rockland County, it seems like the objective is still bringing in that tourism. And then I saw something a few days ago that the organization still got funded, but it's like a different mechanism, it seems.
Hmm. Yeah.
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 So does that mean that those individual organizations are pivoting toward doing things around the Global
Yeah.
Rhythms events?
Uh, well, the Global Rhythms events are really limited to towns along the railroad. So, for example, Pearl River will be having an event.
Hmm.
Nanuet is along the Pascack Valley line.
Right.
And then the Port Jervis line goes up to Suffern and Sloatsburg. And I believe they'll be having events also. So it's all tied to towns along the railroad.
Okay, that
Belief
makes
is
sense.
that it'll be so expensive to go to MetLife Stadium. I mean,
Yeah,
the transportation to get there is $100 on New Jersey Transit, plus the thousands of dollars that it'll cost to get a seat.
it's
So
insane.
the feeling is that the public will take advantage of the normal ticket prices on the railroads that go from Jersey north into the Hudson Valley,
Hmm.
to participate in the block parties that are being organized through the county tourism and through the I Love New York campaign.
Interesting.
So that's how it's come about.
Yeah, it seems like
So
those economic wavelengths, an 8,500 ticket for the final. But if you go out 10, 20, 30 miles, then, that cost reduces and you still get to a really cool party.
Yeah, right. And the restaurants will be the tourism people are speaking to the restaurants to be included in a passport that will offer some sort of a discount.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll everybody will be happy.
Yep.
So
any other things that are happening between now and June 7th? I know you just had the board meeting and
right. Yeah.
new board.
No,
Yeah.
it's just really we're just gearing up for street fair and then this block party, soccer block party.
Gotcha.
So believe me, that's enough.
Well,
believe me.
Man of focus here, Jerry Touchman from the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce, the president. I always love talking with you because, it's, and we got this thing happening on Friday. We've got these things happening in the middle of the summer. We got these things happening at the end of the year. And it's not like, I think you and I speak the same language where it's like, okay, it doesn't suck. It's not awesome. It's like, all right, what do we do next? What's going on?
Exactly.
Checklist.
Right.
So
how do we keep people engaged? That's what we try to do.
Yes, sir. And I respect that very much. Pleasure talking with you. Jerry Touchman from the Nanuet Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us today on Rockland's News.
Okay, my pleasure. All right.
Thanks.
Take care, Tom. All right, bye.
All right. So, Jerry, that was great times talking about the Nanuet Global Rhythms. They're part of the festival that's going to be happening. And that's going to be a very huge screen that you will be experiencing in person if you get to that event. Plus, as we mentioned, the Nanuet Street Fair is returning on June 7th for the 12th annual Nanuet Street Fair, and it's scheduled from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event's going to bring vendors, food, children's activities, karate, pucha, and live entertainment to the community. Organizers say that the fair regularly draws large crowds and more than 170 vendors. When we talk about large crowds, we're literally talking about 20,000 people. So that's pretty awesome. This year's attractions include a kids zone, like I said, karate, food options, and live performances. The name of the bands that are playing is the Sun Dogs After Party, and they're actually playing in the middle of the party. And then the band that's playing at the end is amazing. I saw them before over in the town of Tuxedo and also down by the Hudson Water Club. They're called the Georgia Five. I love these guys. Got to check them out. Families can also purchase all-day Kids Zone ride bracelets. Vendors, sponsors, and community groups are encouraged to register early. All right, on to our next news story. Catholic Charities Community Services of Rockland will honor parish volunteers and staff during its annual Hearts of Gold dinner on June 17th at Town and Country in Congress. The evening will recognize volunteers and staff from 14 Rockland County parishes selected for their commitment to service and ministry. Catholic Charities provide support for residents facing food insecurity, housing instability, eviction concerns, and other hardships. The event begins with a 6 p.m. social hour, followed by dinner and a recognition program from 7 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $125 with sponsorship opportunities available. The Rockland County Department of Health is reminding residents to take precautions as tick season intensifies across the Hudson Valley. Officials are saying ticks are most active in spring, summer, and early fall and can spread illnesses including Lyme disease, babesiosis, I don't even know what that is, ehrlichiosis, it's a disease, anaplasmosis, and Powassan virus. Okay, so you get really sick from these ticks. Residents are urged to stay on marked trails. I really want to apologize to those of you that are listening right now. Like I said early on, and when we started doing this 4 years ago, we don't bat 1,000. So, but hopefully you're with us anyway. Residents are urged. They are urged to stay on marked trails, avoid tall grass. It's not a joke. And leaf litter, wear protective clothing, use EPA approved repellent, check themselves, the kids, the pets after spending time outdoors. keep that grass cut. That's actually one of the best ways that you can prevent ticks from getting around in your property is making sure that the grass is cut. There's another thing that I note. My wife and I were actually over at the hardware store last week, and there's special mesh that you can put on your outdoor screens that prevents small insects such as ticks from even getting into that screened in area. Now, it is a little pricier for that material, but the way I look at it is it's worth it. It's definitely less expensive than a doctor's visit. And I have friends that have had Lyme disease and it's not fun. So definitely be careful dealing with ticks. Definitely check your kids, your dogs, and of course, as always, check yourself. Anyone who develops fever, rash, or flu-like symptoms after the tick bite should contact a healthcare provider promptly. And I should also note, if you want to protect your property this summer season, you can contact Dana Pest Control. They're one of our sponsors, and they're absolutely fantastic. They've been with us for many years, and they protect our property as well. So, if you're trying to make sure that the outside is as pest-free as possible during the summer, and inside, the interior is also protected from pets, from yourself in the winter, because you want to make sure that you're 100% safe. Okay, so you visit danapestcontrol.com. They're family owned since 1973, and they provide optimum pest control services across the Hudson Valley. Fantastic guys. danapestcontrol.com. Next item, Clarkstown recently welcomed two unusual visitors from the United Kingdom, Ed and Vivian Clark. Oh my. The couple is traveling across the United States, visiting towns and cities with Clark in their names, and they added Clarkstown to their list after discovering the Rockland County connection. I wonder if that has anything to do with what's going to happen on Friday. Probably not. All right, Town Supervisor George Holman and Community Officer Robinson welcomed the couple during their stop, and to mark the visit, local officials presented the Clarks with a challenge coin while the couple shared shortbread cookies from UK town official. The town officials called the visit. Who wrote this? Called the visit a lighthearted moment of hospitality and international connection. All right, I mean that's cool. I see the value of that. Just looking at our producer right now. Okay. Gran Fondo returned to Rockland County last Sunday, May 17th. It brought thousands of cyclists. There's support crews at the different stops and so on. Sorry. George Washington Bridge. It starts at George Washington Bridge. It travels through Bergen County and it enters Rockland on a long Route 9W with nearby roads. Organizers said that riders from more than 90 countries participated in the event. And according to this, it says the event brings visibility and business activity to the area. But I'm going to say this, it also creates traffic delays. It creates lane restrictions. Motorists were advised to expect disruptions along the route during race day. And since we're on the air, I'm not going to put myself in a liability state, but I would like to ask Gran Fondo, do you have any statistics in any way, shape, or form on how this brings value to the Hudson Valley? Because as far as I know, it's all about the riders. They're not stopping at every single retail spot, and it really causes a lot of. Listen, I'm a bicyclist, okay, and I get it. I do the MS tour every year, and that's a fantastic event, and it's for charity. I don't think that the Gran Fondo is for charity, and furthermore, I don't see the value of it for coming through Rockland County. That's just my opinion, but I can name literally on one hand different organizations, like for instance, the Heart Association, Cancer Association, Multiple Sclerosis, and at least several others that would certainly be a good fit for Rockland where a charitable recipient is involved. Let me get off of this because this is just my opinion. There's one other item, which is the Pearl River Food Truck Festival. That was on Central Avenue Field this past May 9th. Brought food trucks, vendors, local businesses, a lot of community activity. There were about 15 food trucks, bunch of small businesses. The festival was designed as a family-friendly outdoor gathering and was also set to coincide with the opening of a seasonal farmers market that would continue weekly. All right. So, an event like that is intended to support local businesses because it has people walking around, not on bicycles. And let's face it, if somebody starts at the in New York City, how many of the people that are supporting those individuals are going to drive up with the bicyclists? They're just going to wait in New York City. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. So the Grand Fondo, in my opinion, I mean, maybe they're compensating the governments for the disruption to traffic, but as far as economic activity, I don't see it. So, I'll need some more evidence on that before I say, okay, I was wrong. But I don't see that right now. And, if Grand Fondo wants to get a hold of us, they don't care. It doesn't matter. Um, I also have to mention that we had a really good podcast yesterday with our colleague Joe Call regarding pilot programs in Rockland County. And he was talking off of an annual report that came from Thomas DiNapoli, the state comptroller for all of New York State. And he's been, let's just say, very forthright with his opinion on things in Rockland County, including things, like, for instance, North Rockland Central School District. He put out a critical report about, let's just say, an overextension of grant requests from the North Rockland Central School District, and then questions about the full grant amounts actually being used. And basically, North Rockland said, hey, it was in COVID, and, we had to hunker down and we did the best we could, but this is just sound budgeting and making sure that we have a strong infrastructure with the funds that remain. So, if that's cool or if that's not, that's obviously not my purview. But he has been taking a more of a focus on the fiscal details inside of Rockland County. Another one of these things had to do with the report regarding IDA pilot programs and county-based pilot programs, as well as pilot programs in local municipalities such as the town of Haverstraw. We have the Chair Factory that's coming in, I believe, in 2029. It's going to take 3 years in order to develop. And Joe, who was on the show yesterday, gave a very insightful analysis of how these pilot programs pay out from a dollar to dollar perspective. Is the value there after all of the pilot disbursements are out? Like, does it bring more value? Same thing with Grand Fondo. Are we getting back what we paid for? Big questions there. So, and again, we're just objectively looking at it from all sides. We welcome people's opinions on this on Rockland's News. You are welcome to, if you're listening to this, go to rocklandsnews.com/alert, and you can absolutely post information about a story. If you have an opinion about something, or if you'd like to be a guest as an expert in a particular field, by all means, contact us at rocklandsnews.com/alert. So stay tuned for a lot more regarding pilot programs. And our final note is something that we have at the very end of the podcast, live stream, whatever the heck you want to call this. But I have a feeling it's going to be coming very much to the front. Now, obviously, we're going to be doing the thing on Friday. All right. We're going to be reporting on what happened, yada, 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 yada. We're going to tell you what happened. We're going to tell you, what the effect is and so on. And then we're going to stop. Because again, as I said to you at the beginning of this live stream, we are not chasing views, eyeballs, listens. We want it to happen organically. I just had a great business meeting with 3 people that are helping out with this, that are really, they get it. All right. We are building a news organization that will withstand the test of time. And it takes time. But we're not chasing those views and listens. But there are stories that we are following up on that are going to come to the forefront. And one of them is Admiral's Cove. Now, if some of you have been listening to the shows that Mike and I do on a consistent basis, you will note that we've had people interviewed about what they experienced over at Admiral's Cove. It's a luxury complex, a residential housing complex. I think it's about 350 condo units inside of, if I'm not mistaken, 4 separate buildings. And again, it's marketed as luxury. It's $4,000, $5,000 a month rent for a condo, not a house, a condo. Okay, it's luxury. There have been complaints from the residents, and these are reported, documented. We've done interviews. We've spoken with people behind the scenes. We've consulted lawyers. We've spoken to the Rockland County Consumer Protection Department. And we've also documented everything that we've done. And we've written about 5 stories, maybe 6, on rocklandsnews.com. Well, it's about to go 6767, and here is why. People over at the complex are starting to get to the point where not only do they want to, let's just say post negative reviews about a place where the heating and air conditioning isn't working properly at many times during the day. The elevators, one woman reported that her elevator fell 2 stories while she was in it. Yeah. Electricity problems. There's also a tenant, and I have to be gentle because there's definitely some issues there. But reports have he's been arrested a few times and he's done some stuff. That's all I'm going to say. You can read the stories anywhere you go on social. You'll learn about that. We don't have any documented parts of that, but the gentleman has been arrested several times. He's also bringing people of, let's just say, questionable legal and criminal character over to that complex. So you could tell really quickly that maybe the luxury part of this should have been removed. I don't know. That's just what I'm saying. That being said, there's more that's happening, and now it's getting to the legal level. And we know our place in this. All we are is reporting on what we've observed and what we've seen and what's going on. That's the best we can do. But the way I see it, and I run Rockland's News along with a great team, but it looks like that story, item number 11 on the list of stories that we talked about today, is quickly going to jump to item number 1. I would say sometime in the beginning of June. Sometimes I'm off with my estimates, but I'm getting better. I have to say, I'm getting better at that. So I'm guessing sometime around the beginning to middle of June, that's going to be the number 1 news story. And we'll see how it goes. Well, it's 3:47 and 22 seconds. We should probably get off the air because you don't want to hear me all day long. I don't want to hear me all day long. We do want to thank our sponsors, the New York Boulders baseball team, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp for all your ice machine repairs, Fiesta Acapulco, Kobe Sushi with their jazz music lounge, music on Wednesdays and Saturday nights. And if you mention Rockland's News, you get 15% off your entire order of $75 or over. Breakpoint Bowling, Whole Shop Bagels located in Haverstraw, New York. Mention Rockland's News and get a free bagel for a first-time customer. How about that? The UPS store in West Haverstraw, Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy, Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty, 99 Signs for all your digital, billboard, and portable sign needs, FZ Perfection Auto Body in Congers, New York, and Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. And also I want to thank Kimio Matthews from Stony Point Massage. She's a new advertiser on Rockland's News. And soon we're going to have a panel of individuals in the wellness field. They're going to be talking about recent changes to laws that might, for those of you that use Medicare in order to, have acupuncture or massage or Reiki, there's some changes that are going to be occurring starting next year. So we'll have a panel of wellness experts on for this, and we're hoping that it'll be a very useful conversation. And I want to thank Kimio Matthews from Stony Point Massage for helping to sponsor that part of our news shows that are growing. I should also note that we have other live streamers and podcasters on Rockland's News. For instance, tomorrow, Mike and I are going to be on the air at 8 o'clock, and we're going to be kind of talking about whatever. And then on Thursday, we're going to take a little bit of a break, but we're probably going to have a gardening and or wellness show that's going to be happening on Thursdays. And finally, on Friday, it starts getting fun. This Friday, I don't even know. You think you have a plan, and then the president just shows up. It's like, come on. I thought that it was going to go differently for Friday. I thought it was going to be like out on the front porch having coffee. No, I got to go like this thing. Um, which is fine. I mean, we're reporting the news and we want to. We want to. So hopefully that's okay. But we also have in the morning at 9:45. I don't even know how this is going to work, but we're going to have Tom Brady, who's our local sportscaster. That's his name, Tom Brady. He's got strength coach Thomas J. Brady. He's in Rockland County, and he does sports performance coaching, but he also reports on local sports on Rockland News. And if I have any energy in me left and Mike is able to make it to the end of the week, we will go out and we will do an episode of OK Rockland, where we just check out different things that are happening around town, and hopefully it'll be very enjoyable. Anyway, for those of you that are listening today, I want to thank you for being a part of this experience. It is an ongoing experiment. I don't even know when it's going to end at this point, because, again, Friday, I can't even wrap my brain around it. But you know what? It's not for me to wrap my brain around. It's just for me and our team over at Rockland News to do a good job for you. So until next time, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here is your host, Tom Osa.
Okay. Just took a bite of lunch. I haven't even eaten yet. That happens sometimes. All right. So one more time, we want to thank our sponsors, the New York Boulders baseball team, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp, located in Hackensack, New Jersey, for all your ice machine repairs. Fiesta Acapulco, Kobe Sushi with their jazz music lounge, music on Wednesdays and Saturday nights. Breakpoint Bowling, Whole Shop Bagels, UPS Store, Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy, Susan Bova, 99 Signs, FC Perfection, Clean Space Maintenance Management Company, and Stony Point Massage. Thanks for joining us today. We'll catch you next time. Take care.